guys, today on the channel I'm super excited because Goosky has come out with a military scale heli with 4 blades, very similar to the ones we're reviewing on the channel called the YuXiang Apache. That one's a huge crowd favorite this year, but check out the detail on this one. It's a beautiful scale heli that can not only do stability, it can also do full 3D. It has manual mode and it has idle up on here for doing some pretty amazing 3D stuff. So for people who are looking for something a little more serious, this may be the one for more of kind of scale flying and 3D. I mean, they're both great for scale. This one just has maybe a little bit better details on it. And it has, again, 4-blade rotor head. It's all metal here versus this one is plastic. So you have some upgraded head, and you also have extras in the box, like an extra main shaft, which is nice, some zip ties, extra hardware for each blade grip, and a couple different types of screwdrivers in here as well, and a quick start guide. I guess my only beef with this one versus this one is that this one, when you put it in the box with the blades on, it doesn't fit in the box with the blades on. So you will have to take the blades on to put it into storage. That's kind of my only one beef about this one. But I do have to say, it flies way quieter than the original Apache from YuXiang. So quite a difference here. I do have 3 different rate modes on here for high and low rates: 75%, 80%, and 100%. We have throttle hold. We have position hold, which is not really position hold because it doesn't have any LiDAR on the bottom of this, but it does stability fly, as well as 2 different manual modes on the downward positions there. And we have an idle switch, which puts us into around 100% throttle, so you can do that 3D manual flying when you switch into manual. And what I like about this one also is it does come with an 18650 battery rechargeable from the radio, instead of having to put 4 AAAs like you do on the Apache. So this will be a fun review. It's quite an upgrade compared to the Apache. So I'm interested to see how it flies and what you guys think about it. The Goosky E2 1/35th scale UH1Y Venom. It is pretty cool looking. So let's go ahead and strap up some onboard video on there too with our Insta360 like we always do. And I'll give you some hat cam and some commentary on the flying. All right, guys, to turn it on, you have to press both buttons here and you will see your LEDs on the front telling you how much battery life you have in the transmitter. Now I'm going to open up the canopy and we're going to go ahead and plug in the copter. I'm going to get it nice and level. You'll see the main head blade start to dance when it levels out. Okay. I'm going to get all these blades ready here. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I'm on throttle hold. And if we're not, we're going to be. Okay, there we go. Now it's on hold this direction. I'm going to go ahead and start recording back here on our onboard camera. You want to see that's blinking. All right, cool. That's good. Now we're going to put the front back on. Just snaps back on like that. Let's get our blades all ready for a spool up. And I want to make sure that tail blade's on there so it's rotating away from the copter. And the head direction on the heli is counterclockwise for this particular heli. So I'm going to go ahead and come up into a hover. And let's check it out. Take off my throttle hold here and start a spool up. All right. So I'm just going to let it come up to speed. And we'll go ahead and take off. So one thing I have to tell you about this heli versus even the Apache with LiDAR, it's really, really quiet. And the head sounds beautiful. The way it's balanced out. You don't have all that winding sound with the gyro either. This really feels like it's a much kind of higher quality heli. I mean, I kind of expected that, but we'll see how much whine that gyro has. But check out that military scale right there. That is cool. And so we're flying in stability. I did do an auto rotation earlier with it. And I'll tell you, if you're close to the ground, you want to watch out because that tail blade stops immediately since it's not a belt drive heli. it just stops and it'll start to spin. So I'm talking about the whole fuselage on this heli will start to spin if you try to auto rotate. So make sure you're close to the ground. Let's go ahead and do some cruising out there. Hopefully you guys can see an onboard view. And you know, since I'm in stability mode, man, I got some nice, kind of relaxing feel to fly in this heli. Look at that, isn't that cool? That is beautiful. So the manual tells us, full stick forward right here. Pretty quick. The manual tells us that we should expect about a 15-minute flight time. What do you guys think? It's a much larger battery on this heli. And this heli is just a little bit smaller. Look at that thing coming in. Man, it's quiet. You can't even hear it coming. So, I mean, guys, if you kind of want to know the difference, like what's the difference between this one and the YuXiang Apaches, is that this one, again, it's more for the guys who want to be able to fly manual and fly stability, but have something that has performance of this class. I mean, 3D performance, full 3D performance. Anybody that can fly real good 3D could really show me how to fly this one. I mean, you can fly it inverted, do TikToks. Check out the yaw rate. That's full yaw right there. Now let's go to the left. Am I making you dizzy? But it is a joy to fly, and like the funnest thing for me is like just looking at it close up. It's not as big as, you know, the big brother, like the Flywing version, the Huey, that other big scale heli. So this is more in the 200 to 300 class. Pretty nice. So in some circles, this might be considered like a micro. But man, it flies beautifully. Let's come over here and give it a little landing on our landing pad, okay? One of my favorite things to do with helis is to take off and land. So I've got my tail toward me. And again, like if you want quality, start out with this one. Get this one. If you're kind of teetering on which one you should buy, grab this one first if you're looking for like better quality. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit hold once I'm on the ground because I know, see how quickly that tail stopped? And our blades are coming down to a full stop here. We also have idle up, which would give us 100% head speed no matter which direction the collective is facing. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in manual mode now. And we'll go ahead and spool up in manual mode. And again, you can change the amount of throw that you have on the head. So if you want more throw, you can add that with the dual rate switch on the right hand side of this controller. 75, 85, and 100. And right now I'm flying in full manual. Some people want to see that on the channel. So let's go up a little bit and we'll put it up into idle. Let's see how it reacts. So it didn't give me a huge altitude change when I went into idle. So now I'm in idle up and I should be able to pitch bump. It's actually pretty docile. It's not crazy. You can see it kind of bouncing up and down. That's a full throttle up right there. So now I'm in 85% and 100. So that's just going to make it a whole lot more maneuverable and 100% throw. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? That's full manual. You guys want to see that? You want me to fly full manual, and there is Justin Davis flying a full manual with a heli. Dare I do a flip, because I did crash and break my landing gear on my Flywing Huey. But if I go up and around and I push down on the stick, once I'm upside down, it should float up. I'm going to get some altitude here, and we'll do a flip. All right, there we go. There was a flip, you guys. So I wonder if I can kind of use this as a bail switch and go back into position here. All right, so now I'm back into, I said position, but I meant kind of stability mode. And they call it POS on this system. So now I'm into stability mode. When I move the stick and it goes back to level for me. So that can kind of be your bail switch if you can get to it quick enough. And a lot of times with helis and RC, you just can't get to the switch quick enough. You're already on the ground and crash. But look at that. Look at that. So right away, I'd say like the head, the alignment on the head, the blades are really in line. It's super clean sounding. And it's really quiet. Like if someone was next to you in a playground, the moms wouldn't be annoyed by the blade sound. The Karens wouldn't be too annoyed with the blade sound. And I'm pretty sure they wouldn't think that you're spying on their kids with an RC helicopter. However, the sparrows may have a different idea. Here comes a big bird of prey over there too. He's kind of coming over here to check that out. I had a friend who had an RC airplane snatched by a bird of prey. A hawk took off with his little foamy plane, little micro, took it over the hill, and the guy went over the hill to get his airplane, and the hawk was sitting there just pulling it to pieces with his talon. He had to go back to the hobby shop and get some more foam parts for his little micro airplane. That's beautiful. So I did fly it in manual, and I think it would do mild 3D. I mean, it really depends on the pilot, but look at that profile coming at us right there. Isn't that cool? That is cool. That is a beautiful helicopter. So my impressions of this one right away versus the YuXiang, like, I mean, I knew when Goosky came out with this, I knew it would be higher performance and it would fly better just because Goosky is known for making great 3D helis. And this is, to my knowledge, their first scale style heli. I think that they got so popular, and they are so popular right now, the military scale ones, they just decided, hey, let's make one. We can make one of those. We can make one as cool as the Apache. And I think they did. I really think they did. They added a bigger battery, a little better scale details. It's a tiny bit smaller than the Apache. But like, if I could have one or the other, man, I would have this one. 'Cause, I mean, I'm a heli guy from way back here. So look at that. Isn't that cool? That is beautiful. Also, the side doors open, so you can have access inside the heli's canopy. Both side doors open on each side. Kind of wondering how your onboard FPV view looks. Can you see me? I can maybe wave high, since I am flying in stability mode. Now, if this battery gets to near dead, it's probably going to drop out of the air. So you want to be careful about running your LiPo too low. And this is a 3S. I think it was a 1600 LiPo. 16 or 1700. And if my memory serves me correct, I believe it was around a 1600 or 1800 on the Apache. Make some comments down below if you know what size it is. Look at that. Coming in for a landing. Gonna pick up my G.I. Joes in action here. Where's my guy at? My son is now collecting G.I. Joes. They're the new ones that are like 7 inches tall or so. He's super into them. We've got the White Ninja. You guys might remember that one. Man, look at that. I just want to fly it close. Close and low. Let's get a little closer for you so you can see a better picture. Look at that. That is a pretty heli. We also have the Black Ninja. And we have the army guy, what was his name? The blonde-haired guy with all the guns. Man, what was his name? I saw it the other day on my son's packaging, and it took me back to when I was a kid. And that's another reason why we fly RC on this channel, honestly. It's just to get back to feeling like a kid, forget about all the stuff, all our problems and all the politics and the crazy stuff going on in the world out there. This is a nice break. This is what it's all about, just getting away. And sometimes having a little time to yourself, having a little dad time or me time. Look at that. Man, that is a cool heli. I just want to keep flying it. I know I could kill this battery just looking at it. Now, you probably could switch into manual mode while you're flying in stability like this, but I don't really recommend that. I would probably land and then switch it and then fly back off the landing pad. It doesn't have GPS on here, so that's one different thing between this one and the Apache. The Apache has LiDAR on the bottom and it has return to home. So if it gets to a low battery or return to home, this one will drop to the ground. So this one's more of a kind of a beginner slash intermediate. I would say the Apache is like, if you're a total beginner, you can start out with Apache and then put this one in your collection. Have this one as your second heli. This one's for guys who are already a little bit experienced, but this wouldn't hurt to start out as a beginner with something like this. I would have dreamed of something like this when I started out back in the early 2000s. Look at that. Learn how to fly nose in, guys. If you're brand new, flying nose in, super important. Try not to get behind yourself either. Keep your back to the sun when you're flying. You never want to fly into the sun. I've had my RC airplanes right in the sun, and my helis, I just lose sight of where they're at. But line of sight flying, it's not dead. It's still a thing. Look at that. That is cool. If they took away my goggles tomorrow, I would still come out and do this. But the way the world is, it looks like they want to take away our goggles, but we're gonna keep flying. We're just gonna keep flying. And we're not hurting anybody, man. You know, we're just out here doing our thing. Nobody around, just me and this RC heli. What a beautiful sight. How about starting out your morning with that? Start out your day with that. That'll make you feel good for the day. If I get to fly one time during the day, I'm super happy. What do you guys think? Are you guys with me on that? Let's come in for a landing here. I'm gonna keep my eyes on it. I'm gonna try to do a nice slow landing. I'm gonna get down here low to the ground with you guys. All right, coming in. Very gently, come down. Come on down, Justin. Back up a little bit. All right, hit that idle. A little bit of a Navy landing there on that one. Slamming it down on the deck. But we are down in one piece after I flew manual mode, so I'm pretty happy with that. But check that out. We should unplug this battery while I've got it kind of level with my face. I'm going to go ahead and unplug here. We'll stop our onboard camera. And I mean, you guys heard a lot of the way I feel about this heli when I was flying it. I do like that it has an all metal head. The blade grips and everything are all metal. So that's one of the things that, like, the guys who fly helis all the time, they look for helis with all metal heads. So that's pretty important to guys. And, you know, a company like Goosky, they know that. That's what a lot of the heli guys are looking for instead of plastic. Some people like plastic because it's cheaper to replace. And, you know, something's got to give. If you hit the ground, you're going to break a blade. Maybe you'll break some kind of links in the head. But something has to give. And that's kind of people's argument that like plastic. But I like an all metal head myself. It says Marines on the back. That is too cool. But again, I appreciate you guys for watching. I really appreciate you. You can check out my link down below. If you grab one, it does benefit the channel. Man, that is cool. I just want to keep staring at it. That is awesome. I may bring you some more video on this. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see more of the Goosky scale military heli. The Venom with the opening side doors here. Open and close side doors. You can see that giant brushless motor in there. Dual brushless motor. One here, one here. It's awesome. But take care, guys. This has been my full review of the Goosky Venom military scale heli. I'm Justin Davis. I will see you on the next one.